Hello friends, welcome back. And if you are new to our channel, thank you for stopping by. Well, today I have a very beautiful project for you. We are going to make these lovely floral coasters. So let us quickly start with a magic ring, and then I am going to chain 3, which will be counted as one double crochet. After the chain of 3 is done, I am going to work 11 number of double crochet in the magic ring. Now let's count and work a magic ring. That will make our work easier. As I told you earlier, we are making 12 number of double crochet. That is 11 double crochet plus the first chain of 3. Now if we find the magic ring too big, we can pull it still and tighten it. So it's finally done. And now I am going to slip stitch on top of the third chain of the very first chain of 3. We need to do that carefully because we want a neat finish. Now let us start off with a chain of 3 followed by one double crochet in the same chain space. After that I move on to the next chain space where I have already done a double crochet, and I am doing another double crochet in the same space. Now into another chain gap I am working a double crochet, and that is followed by another double crochet in the same chain space. So in this particular row we are going to work 2 double crochet in each of the chain space. That means in the end we are going to have 24 number of double crochets. That is, we are working 2 double crochet in each of the chain space. And see here I am close to the finishing point, and there I am going to do double crochet. First one, that's the second double crochet in the same chain space. Once done, I am going to slip stitch on top of the chain of 3. Need to do that carefully. Yes. After that I am going to chain 3, which will be counted as one double crochet, and then I am going to work one double crochet in the same chain space. Once that is done, in the next chain gap I am going to work one double crochet, only one. Then into the next chain gap I am going to work 2 number of double crochet. Then in the next chain gap I am going to work one double crochet. That means the sequence is 2 double crochet in one chain gap, then it is followed by one double crochet in the chain gap, which is again followed by 2 number of double crochet in the same chain gap. Simple. We just need to follow this all around till we are close to the starting point. When I get there, I will show you what is to be done next. So here I am quite close to the finishing point where I worked 2 double crochet in the same chain space. Then I am working one double crochet in the chain gap, and then now we need to slip stitch on top of the third chain of the very first chain of 3. So this particular row is complete. Now let us chain 3, which will be counted as one double crochet followed by one double crochet in the same chain space. So that's done. After that I am going to jump into the next chain space and work one double crochet, which is followed again by one double crochet in the chain space, and then I hop into the next chain space where I am going to work 2 number of double crochet. That means 2 number of double crochet, then 1 double crochet each in 2 chain spaces. Yes, then I'm going to work the increase, that is 2 double crochet in the same chain space. That means the sequence is 2 double crochet in the same chain space, then I work 1 double crochet in 1 chain space, which is followed by 1 double crochet in 1 chain space, and then again 2 double crochet in the same chain space. That is the sequence. You will see, you will get a perfect circle when we follow this sequence, and this method can be used for making of circular projects of any size. It is not just restricted to the smaller ones. You can use it for any circular projects. So I have reached the end of this circle, so I am going to slip stitch on the third chain of the very first chain of 3. I'm going to slip stitch. We'll do it carefully. Yes, that's done. Now I'm going to chain 3 and do a double crochet in the same chain space. After that I am going to work double crochet in 1 chain space, another double crochet in the next chain space, which is followed by another double crochet in the next chain space. That means an increase and 3 number of double crochet in each of the chain space. Here I am working the increase, that is 2 double crochet in the same chain space. Then I am going to work double crochet in individual chain spaces 3 times. That's the second time, and this is the third one. That's done. Now I am going to work 2 double crochet in the same chain space. That is the sequence. That means 2 double crochet in the same chain space, which is followed by 1 double crochet each in 3 of the chain spaces, then an increase. So I have reached the end. I am going to slip stitch on top of the third chain of the very first chain of 3, and I will work a chain and then snip off the yarn. So the first part of our work is done. Now I am going to introduce my green yarn. This part is also very easy. You can start from any point you wish to. I am ready with the slip knot, and then I am going to attach my green yarn to my work. Then I am going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, which will be followed by another 3 chain of 3. Yes, then I am going to work back a double crochet in the same chain space. Yes, so our first V has formed. Now I am going to skip 2 chain spaces and work another double crochet in the chain gap. I am trying to tuck the loose end at the back side as well. After the double crochet is done, I am going to chain 3 and work another double crochet in the same chain space, thus forming the V. Now I am going to skip 2 chain spaces and work a double crochet in the third chain gap. I am tucking the loose end. Once that is done, I am going to chain 3 and work another double crochet in the same chain space. I am going to work in the same manner all around till I reach the starting point. It is very simple and very easy to work, and it will come out equally beautiful. So here I have completed working with my green yarn. Then we are going to work the showstopper of this particular project. I am ready with my pink yarn, and I am going to attach my yarn You can start from any point you wish to, and I'm going to start off with a chain of 3, which will be counted as 1 double crochet, and then I am going to work 4 number of double crochet in the same chain gap or the loop. It's not a chain gap, it's a loop actually. Now once I have 5 number of stitches, I am going to take off my hook and pass my hook through the very first gap between the stitch, and I am going to work a puff stitch. Once the puff stitch is done, I'm going to chain 3 and work back into the puff stitch again and do a single crochet. Now again chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and again back into the petal or the puff stitch and work a single crochet, and again chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to work back into the puff stitch and work a single crochet. That's done. Our first flower is ready. Then I'm going to chain 3 and hop into the tiny gap and do a single crochet. Yes, that's done. Now this is the sequence we are going to follow all around. Now I'm going to work 5 number of double crochet in the loop. That's the first one. It is better we count. That's the second. The third. The fourth. And finally the fifth one. Now I am going to pass my hook through the top of the chain. It is a little different from the very first puff stitch or the flower we worked. After that chain 3 and I am going to work back into the petal or the flower and do a single crochet. Again chain 3 and back into the puff stitch and work a single crochet. This is to be done 3 times. Now again chain 3 and back into the flower and do a single crochet. So our second flower is ready. Now let us chain 3, 1, 2 and 3 and do a single crochet in the little loop. After that I am going to jump into the bigger loop and work my 5 number of double crochet so that I can work my puff stitch, which will turn into a flower very soon. It is very easy and equally beautiful. The best part is we can increase the size of our coasters and turn into table mats. It is going to look equally beautiful. So the puff stitch is ready to be turned into a flower. Now chain 3 back into the puff stitch, a single crochet, again a chain of 3 back into the puff stitch, a single crochet, and again a chain of 3 and then again back into the puff stitch, and so our flower is ready. Now again chain 3 and a single crochet into the tiny space that is available. Now let us continue in the same manner, working 5 number of double crochet in the bigger loop, then working the puff stitch and then turning the puff stitch into a pretty little flower. So that is the sequence we need to follow. I hope friends you all understood how it is to be done. After the puff stitch is worked, we are making the tiny petals. It needs to be done 3 times. We need to keep the tension uniform so that the size of the flower looks similar. So we will continue working all around till we are close to the finishing point. So here I am close to the finishing point. I'm working a chain of 3 and I am going to do a single crochet in the little loop, and then I am working my final puff stitch. That is by working 5 number of double crochet in the same space. Now let's work the little puff stitch, passing the hook through the top of the very first chain. So our neat little puff stitch is done. Now I chain 3 to work the little ruffles or the little petals, whatever you wish to call, you may call. Chain of 3 and a single crochet right into the puff stitch. That makes the little frills for our flower. Once that is done, I am going to chain 3 and do a single crochet in the last space that is available. Now I'll show you what is to be done in the end. I am just going to slip stitch, or we can do a single crochet in the very first loop from where we had started our work. Now let's snip off the yarn and hide the loose ends. You must be thinking why she's singing, but when our project comes out beautifully, we are in a happy mood, right? So here it is. Finally, let's snip off the loose ends after tucking it. So here it is. Our floral coasters are ready. I hope you all liked it. To give a thumbs up and to share it with your friends and family members. And if you are new to our channel, do consider subscribing. I'm sure you will not regret. So friends, this is it for today. Do try this beautiful project and you can gift it to your mother for the Mother's Day that is around the corner. Thank you once again and stay tuned. And do watch plants, crochet, cooking and more. So it is bye bye for today.